If you're a dog lover, this video is for you. Well, if you've ever had a pet disappear on you, it hopped the fence, it somehow got out of the yard, you understand how devastating that can be, because it's much more than just a lost pet. It is sleepless nights. It's children asking very hard questions. It's an empty void in your house where that furry ball of love should be wagging its tail. And for many, this could last days, weeks. And unfortunately, some people never find their dog again. And it's just very, very sad. But I have some good news to share with you today, because artificial intelligence is working to solve this exact problem. From San Antonio to New York to California, artificial intelligence has been able to help reunite dogs with people after weeks, months, even hundreds of miles away. Let's talk about it.
Welcome to the API for Everyone Daily Brief.
So I'm going to shine the spotlight on just an incredible mission of a nonprofit. Now, this nonprofit is called Petco Love. Yes, that Petco, the one many of you might shop at. And they have a program called Petco Love Lost, and it uses artificial intelligence to help people find their lost pets. And I'm going to share with you 3 success stories that they've already had, because they're just so heartwarming, and I know it will make your day. Well, if anybody's ever had their dog get out of the yard, I know it's happened to us a few times. A dog will break through a board, it'll see a rabbit, it'll just take off, and before you know it, it's 3 or 4 blocks over. Or maybe you were in the house making coffee, you let the dog out in the morning, sees a rabbit, breaks through the fence, you don't catch it right away, and now you're driving around the neighborhood in a full-blown panic. Well, thankfully, we've always been able to find our dogs after maybe an hour or so, but some people have not been so fortunate. And I know in that hour, I was in a full-blown panic attack. My wife was in a full-blown panic attack. It was just not a good situation at all. But I'm going to share with you some good news stories on how this problem is currently being solved. I found a story yesterday on August 18th, 2025, over on ksat.com. This is a news station in San Antonio. A woman there was reunited with her pet after a month. After a month. I can't even imagine my babies not being here for a month. But they were driving around. They went to every shelter looking for their pet. They would just drive around the neighborhood aimlessly and, of course, be in a panic as they were doing that. Well, they stumbled across this Petco Love website and this nonprofit, and they were able to upload a bunch of photos and all the information about their pet into their lost pet database. And AI started scanning the pictures, and somehow, through the magic of artificial intelligence, it found a record at a shelter that people had overlooked. And she was able to be fully reunited with their pet. I mean, I can't even imagine the joy that she must have felt after 30 days, you've probably just assumed either the worst or that somebody else had taken the dog in at best, I guess, in that scenario. But you kind of, after a month, would somewhat accept it. And then to find the puppy, that's beautiful. Now, the next story doesn't involve artificial intelligence, but it's just too good not to share this information. Because if you go to Petco Love Lost website, they have a couple of stories up there, and there's one of Michael and Millie. Now, Michael was visiting a friend in Manhattan, and that friend was out walking his dog, Millie. Well, somehow Millie got off the leash and escaped and went on its own 24-hour adventure. Well, Michael comes back, of course, in a full panic. The friend, I would assume, feels extremely guilty that this happened. And the story takes a turn potentially for the worst, because Millie actually gets hit by a car and gets injured. But that negative turned into a major positive, because a good Samaritan saw that this happened, picked up the dog, took it to a local veterinarian.
He had been turned in as a stray that was hit by a car. Someone was on their way to work in New Jersey, kind of passing through, stopped traffic, help this dog out, and we were the closest hospital on his way to work. And I kind of fell in love with her and wanted her to be reunited with her owner. I took her microchip number, and that's how things kind of got started.
I ended up finding Millie through Petco Love Lost, registered her microchip information, and it ended up coming back as a match.
When I saw them reunited, it was probably one of the best moments in my career so far. Manhattan's a very large island, but adding her on Petco Love Lost right away and making that connection less than 24 hours was incredible. As a veterinary professional, we should all be encouraging all of our clients to register their pets on Petco Love Lost.
We've sort of been inseparable since. Petco Love Lost brought Millie home.
So what could have potentially been a devastating situation ended up being positive and reuniting the owner with his pet. And the final story I want to share with you is that of Shirley and Ziggy. This one is really amazing. So Shirley was visiting family 365 miles away from her home with her pet Ziggy. And while they were there vacationing or hanging out with family, somebody opened the door, probably to get an Amazon package or the mail or something like that. And Ziggy decided to bolt out the door. And when that happened so fast that they lost Ziggy. Now, a direct quote, and this hits you. This gets you very emotional. Shirley said, "I felt devastated and heartbroken. The worst feeling a dog parent could ever feel." And Shirley said, "When Ziggy was missing, all I could think about was how he was doing, where he was, and if he was okay." I can see that completely. So, of course, the family, they searched. They did flyers. They went to shelters. They hung on every corner where they were driving, but they did not find Ziggy. But they ended up putting photos into this Petco program, and they got a match. And this, again, is the power of AI, because for people to go through and look at all these photos, and then does this golden retriever look different from that golden retriever or whatever that is, AI can go through millions of pictures in a millisecond and then start trying to find through a predictive model if this is your dog or not. And in this case, the reunion happened. Ziggy made it home 365 miles away, bringing so much joy to Shirley. And I quote again from her, "It just felt like my home was complete all over again." Petco Love Lost brought Ziggy home. So just a beautiful ending to what could have been a very tragic story. Why it matters. Well, these stories are much deeper than just a lost pet. This is showing how AI can step into these emotional human moments where timing and accuracy mean everything. It's important to look how AI can solve problems in your daily life or industries that you don't work in, and then how you can apply it into what you do and into your company and your world. Well, in this case, look, shelters across the country are completely overwhelmed. Thousands of lost animals come through those doors every single week. And staff can miss matches. It's just going to happen. There's too many pets, too many things going on for humans to be able to handle that workload and to be able to get it right all the time. Families lose hope. Look, the longer a pet is gone, the lower the odds of a reunion are. And AI can help put the odds back into the favor of the pet owner. Now, in this case, let's talk about maybe some police activities where you're looking for a suspect. AI is going to be able to look at case files much faster than what humans, attorneys, police, detectives, all that can do. Not to mention, they're going to be able to find patterns that humans just aren't able to find. So you can see the crossover here and why it's important to look at all of these different things that are going on. And I think this is pretty important as well, is AI scales compassion. Because by comparing photos and microchips to 3,000 shelters and other public platforms, AI doesn't just save time, It saves relationships. It saves relationships. So Petco Love Lost here alone has enabled over 100,000 confirmed reunions since they've launched. So it shows how AI, how algorithms that are built for efficiency can deliver joy at scale. How it impacts you. Well, these stories, they carry lessons for leaders, for operators, for managers that go well beyond animal welfare. If you work in operations, AI can handle a huge, overwhelming volume of data, and it can go in and find solutions, ideas that humans miss. If you work in customer service, AI can help you resolve some of those customer disputes faster because AI could find some of those missing details. It could also help you optimize that customer experience to help prevent these issues from happening again. If you work in some form of crisis response, well, it's no different than once the clock starts ticking on a missing pet, it matters the same way in restoring customer trust, in solving logistics failures, and preventing fraud. And if you take away anything from this video, I want it to be this. The bigger lesson here, AI is not just about efficiency. It's about trust, it's about timing, and it's about generating those outcomes that people really want. Oh, and one more thing. Come here. At its best, AI is not about replacing humans. It's about giving humans back what matters most to them. With every reunion here in this story, and there's 100,000 of them, it shows that AI isn't just smart, it's personal. So my question to you today is, if AI could help you with one thing, whether it's in your life or your business, what would it be? I would love to hear that in the comment section. And our time together has come to an end today. But if you found value, please click that subscribe button. That's the best way that you can support the channel. We need to get this information in the hands of most people. And please visit this Petco Love website. Share it with your friends. Anybody that has pets, this is something that they definitely need to have in their favorites. Well, that's it for me today. My name is Harrison Painter. This has been your AI for Everyone Daily Brief. And until next time, keep creating, keep innovating, and most importantly, keep up. God bless you.
Thanks for listening. I'm glad you stayed. One more spark for the plans you've made. If this show hit, go share the vibe. Like, subscribe, let's build this tribe.